What's going on, guys? It's your boy back with another video. I hadn't posted in a while. I had to delete all my videos because, I had to. We're not going to talk about that. But today we're going to be doing a full 2020 NBA mock draft of the lottery. I'm only doing the lottery because that's going to take a long time and I got to go into depth with these picks. So I think in my opinion, the first 5 picks are pretty easy. With the first pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to select LaMelo Ball. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, Minnesota has a point guard. Why would they take another one? If you look at D'Angelo Russell's play style, Russell is in more of a score-first guard. He is a good playmaker. I'll give him that. He is good. He can get you some assists. But if I'm Minnesota, I'd rather get LaMelo over Edwards because LaMelo is a good passer. He's a pretty overrated defender, but he's still good. I don't think he's great, but he is still good. And he's also a good passer. And he would fit well alongside D'Lo and Cat, and probably Malik Beasley coming off the bench. With the second pick, the Golden State Warriors select the best player available because they are going to want to trade for Giannis. And if Giannis is available halfway through the season next year, Golden State's going to have the best assets possible. So Golden State's going to select Anthony Edwards because, in my opinion, Edwards is the best player in the draft. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair. It looks bad. But Edwards is the best player in the draft, in my opinion. I think he can easily get you 20 points a game in the NBA once he gets settled in. Probably his second or third year, he'll get to 20 points a game. He's going to be an elite scorer, and I think he can work on defense. I kind of think of him like a Bradley Beal, a guy who's a good offensive guy and can be good on defense when motivated. With the third pick, it's pretty obvious. Charlotte is going to take James Wiseman because they need a good player, and right now they have 2 guards. Well, they really have 3 guards with Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, and Malik Monk, and then they have P.J. Washington and Miles Bridges. They're losing Bismack this offseason, and Cody Zeller is just not a good player. So yeah, I think Wiseman will be the best pick for the Hornets there. Pick 4, I had Chicago taking, if I can remember his name, Deni Avdija from Israel, because everything I've read, and what I've watched some tape, and I've read a lot of stuff on Deni Avdija. He looks really good. He's a guy who's not fully developed yet, but can develop into something great. I think because his model is kind of based off of what we see Luka right now and LeBron. He's a good attacker. He's a good 3-level scorer. He can pass. He can ball. He's a good ball handler. He's a good defender. He's a really good offensive guy. The only knock on Deni Avdija is his shot selection, and we don't know how well he'll play in the NBA. So that's the only knock on Avdija. With the 5th pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to select Obi Toppin because, in my opinion, Kevin Love is getting old. I think they need to trade Kevin Love. Maybe keep Kevin Love, trade him at the trade deadline, and then start Obi Toppin the rest of the year. I think they also got to find a trade for Andre Drummond because, obviously what they gave up to get Drummond, that's a great deal for Cleveland. But they're a team that needs to rebuild, and so trading for max contract big men who are 28 and are not a fit for the way the league is playing is just not a good idea. I think they have to rebuild that entire team. There's going to be a lot of trades coming to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but Obi Toppin would be a good fit for them. With the 6th pick, I have the first trade of my mock draft, and it's going to be the New York Knicks trading up with the Atlanta Hawks to jump the Detroit Pistons and also cut salaries to try to sign some big free agents this year or next year. I think they might go for somebody this year and then look to get more guys in the 2021 offseason. But I have the Knicks trading pick 8 and probably Kevin Knox because I don't see why a team like the Knicks that wants to win is going to take the time to develop a guy like Kevin Knox. I think Kevin Knox is good. I just think his talents are getting wasted. And I do think Kevin Knox would be a good fit for the Hawks. He can run the two guard. He's a decent scorer, and I think he can get better on defense. And Atlanta just doesn't need this pick very much. So with the 6th pick, via the Atlanta Hawks, the New York Knicks are going to select Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State. And the reason they take Halliburton is obviously the Knicks need a point guard. And Knicks fans are going to want Cole Anthony because he's such a big name. But I don't think Cole Anthony is a good player. I think what we saw from him last year at North Carolina, his inconsistency and his injuries. I think that's going to be how his career is. I think he's going to take till his 6th or 7th year to actually be a borderline all-star. I don't have much faith in Cole Anthony. I know that's being mean, but as a Duke fan, I grew up as a Duke fan. I absolutely despise the Tar Heels. I will respect them, but I absolutely despise them. And so I had to watch them play this year, and when they played Duke, Cole Anthony was just not good. He was not. Cole Anthony is not, in my opinion, not a good player. I think he could be a quality starting point guard. Maybe a good 6-man if he really needs to slide all the way down that far. But I don't think he's going to be a superstar or an all-star. I don't think that's what he's going to be. With pick 7, Detroit does need a point guard, and they were looking at Tyrese Halliburton. But I think Detroit is going to buy into the Cole Anthony experiment, and so with the 7th pick, the Detroit Pistons will select Cole Anthony. They're going to take him because he's a big name. He's the son of Greg Anthony. He went to a big school in the North Carolina Tar Heels, and so I think they're going to buy into it, and they're going to select Cole Anthony with the 7th pick. With the 8th pick, we're going to have our 3rd straight point guard off the board. I'm getting the Atlanta Hawks to take, I got to remember. Where is he? Here. RJ Hampton. Yes, Hampton is more of a score-first guard, but he's a good ball handler. And that is really what Atlanta needs right now. Atlanta needs to develop their young guys, and they really need a backup point guard, a quality backup point guard. So, Trae Young doesn't have to play 48 minutes a night and have to average 37 points for his team to make the playoffs. I think he's going to need to take a break, and I feel like Hampton could be a good backup point guard. All right, with the 9th pick, the Washington Wizards are going to jump at the opportunity to take Onyeka Okongwu out of USC. I think that team does not need another guard. They have Beal and they have Wall. Those are two really good players who, if Wall is the same, both of them could easily lead Washington to the playoffs. Rui Hachimura had a better rookie season than people give him credit for. I think Hachimura is going to be really good his second year. I think Troy Brown Jr. is a good role-playing small forward. And so really they just need a big man, and Onyeka Okongwu can be that. He can be that defensive big man who can be the stud in the paint. He can grab rebounds, be a lob threat for Bradley Beal, and a guy for Bradley Beal and John Wall to throw lobs to. I think he can just be a quality big man. With the 10th pick, the Phoenix Suns are going to select Killian Hayes out of France. I think that team needs a point guard. I think they're going to take another foreign-born point guard. I said Hampton, right? No, I said Hayes. I have a bad memory, guys. But I think Killian Hayes can learn a lot from Ricky Rubio on how to be a better passer. I think Killian Hayes is great right now, and I think he shouldn't have slipped to 10, but the fact that he was overseas and didn't get a ton of credit for what he was doing over there is going to drop his stock a little bit. So that's why he slips past 3 point guard needy teams to the Suns. The Suns are happy to swipe him up and take him. So that's that pick. All right, so San Antonio. San Antonio is a team that I'm not really sure. This team really needs to rebuild, but they won't. They refuse to rebuild even though, like, they have to just be bad for 1 year so they can get a top player and win again. That's what they did to transition from David Robinson to Tim Duncan. They had David Robinson. They had a really good team. That team got hurt. They got the first pick, Tim Duncan. And then they went from there. David Robinson retires. They go seamlessly from Robinson to Duncan. So I'm really not sure what to do for San Antonio. They've got their point guard. They really like Derek White at shooting guard. I think the best thing for them is to try to get a forward to replace, a small forward or a wing to replace DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar is just, he's a good in his own aspect. He's just not a good fit for what the league does now. I don't think they're going to pay him big money. So if he declines that player option, they've got his replacement there, and they can start their rebuild. Or if DeRozan does opt in, which I expect him to do, I think it's like into the 30 millions. I think he's definitely going to opt into that option. So they have 1 year left with DeMar DeRozan. They can have this guy come off the bench. I think it's going to be Patrick Williams out of Florida State. Because Patrick Williams was good at Florida State. He's a good defender. He can shoot the 3 ball well. I think he could be a good replacement for DeMar DeRozan. He can learn from DeMar on how to attack the basket, get easier and better looks in the paint, which would just be better for San Antonio. With the 12th pick, the Sacramento Kings, who are in desperate need of defense, take Isaac Okoro. Now you're saying, why does Okoro fall so far? And he falls so far because of one of the YouTubers I watched. He said the Stanley Johnson effect. It's what he called it. And that's when, I'll leave his channel link in the description if anybody wants to go check out the video that he got from that. I'm kind of stealing this pick from him because I agree with it. Isaac Okoro is a guy who's really was dominant in high school and college because of his elite athleticism. And if he does lose that athleticism, he's not going to lose the athleticism. But the reason he was so good was because nobody in high school and college could match his athleticism. Now, Okoro is one of the best defenders in the draft. I'll give him that. But he doesn't have a steady jump shot, and he's more based off his athleticism. And I don't think he's going to be a really good scorer in the league his first 2-3 years in the league, which definitely is something that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt him. He's going to have to learn to shoot a jumper. So I think him going to Sacramento is good because Sacramento has its scorers. Even if they do trade Buddy Hield, they got Bogdan, they've got Harrison Barnes. De'Aaron Fox is a scorer when he wants to be. So really they just need defense. They can have Barnes come off the bench and they can start Okoro at small forward, or Okoro could get heavy minutes as a 6-man and they can start Harrison Barnes. Alright, with the 13th pick, we're getting there with the 13th pick. With the 13th pick, I think the New Orleans Pelicans are going to take a chance on Devin Vassell. Vassell, a good 3-and-D shooting guard from Florida State last year. I think he's going to be good in that offense, being able to play next to Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. And the possibility that maybe New Orleans does trade Drew Holiday, then I definitely can see New Orleans trying to replace him with a guy who plays like Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday does. And I think maybe New Orleans could get a later pick in the draft, like a later first round pick in the draft for Jrue Holiday. And maybe with that late round pick that they get from Jrue Holiday, the Jrue Holiday trade, maybe they could get like a Trey Jones to build some Duke chemistry with Zion. Maybe have him run some. Maybe so you can have a good backup point guard for when Lonzo Ball is just on his stretches of just awful shooting. But yes, I think the 13th pick is going to be Devin Vassell out of Florida State. And with the final pick of the lottery, the Boston Celtics via the Memphis Grizzlies are going to select Theo Maledon. I got this from that YouTube video because I had no idea what to do for Boston, because Boston is such a weird team. But I do think Maledon, the video I watched, again I'll link it in the description. It was very helpful in how good Theo Maledon actually is, because he's been getting good steady minutes in the EuroLeague as a teenager, which is really hard to do. Be good in the steady minutes that you're given in the EuroLeague, which is a hard league to play in. We've seen multiple stars come from the EuroLeague. Obviously, the biggest one right now would probably be two of the biggest ones right now would probably be Giannis and Luka. Both of them played in the EuroLeague. Luka dominated the EuroLeague, and I think many people not looking back into Luka's background were surprised that Luka was this good, but I wasn't. And most people who actually looked back at Luka in the EuroLeague aren't surprised either. But so I think Theo Maledon could potentially be good in the league. I don't think Maledon's going to get to Luka Doncic level or to Giannis Antetokounmpo level, but he has been playing good in the EuroLeague, and I think he could be good in the NBA. Maybe as the replacement for Kemba Walker. He is 30, and he doesn't really fit with the young core of that team. So thank you. If you have any comments or disagreements with me, put them in the comments below. I read my comments. I will look at them, and I'll try to help. I'll try to talk to you with them. Talk with you about them, about what you think should have been different, or if you disagree with a pick. But thank you. Have a nice day, and hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Thank you. Have a nice day.